There you go.
Oh, there you go. I see the numbers on it.
Yep.
My fault.
It's okay. Just got to splice 2 videos, and now you're the jerk. Good job.
Perfect.
It really
all
doesn't
good.
take me that long. Just teasing. But anyway, so spirit boxes. We're going to stay away from yes and no questions. Okay? Why is that? Because you could say, is somebody here? And if somebody says no, it still means somebody's here. At the same token, they could say the word houses, and you think you heard the word yes. S and O in the phonetic English language, again, English guy. So those are the 2 most common sounds we're going to hear. So we stay away from yeses or nos. Always rephrase your question so it's something that is not going to be yes or no. We're going to start you off with something simple. Where's the other spirit box? Who's got them? All right, so I'm actually looking at the right group. Awesome. So you guys are going to start with things that you already know. So what color is the barn is a great question. And I do this with every group. You know you're listening for the color red. Okay, so there's only one answer for that. If you don't get an answer after 30 seconds, ask again. Okay. Remember, spirits need time and energy to muster up energy to do anything. So we got to give them a little bit of time. So ask 2, 3, maybe 4 times, and then literally, sorry, you're not answering my question. I'm going to move on to another one. What's inside the barn? At this point, we know we can get the word delivery, milk, horse, draft, because they're draft horses, animal. We can get all of those things wrapped around that. And also keep in mind that those answers can go anywhere. A lot of times, I won't give you what I'm asking. So I might ask, how many people are with us? How many people do you see? And then you're going to turn around and say, we heard the number 10. Well, that's right, because I asked on my spirit box how many people are here, but you got the answer. There's 6 points of reference for communication here. 4 spirit boxes. 2 plus my 2. Audio here, audio here. The answer can go anywhere. We never know until the next morning. Again, I can't plant this stuff. It comes out to you raw. So, those are the types of things that you're going to be doing with your spirit boxes. Now, the next location is not going to be so easy. I'm going to give you a bunch of quiz questions that you could answer, but you're not going to know what the answers are. So, again, it's going to be like, hey, what was Eliza's maiden name? You don't know what that is. Yeah, Google does, and you guys could cheat and say, I heard Lucas. But at the same token, it happens, trust me. I've seen it all. But that's what we're going after. I want to give you guys stuff to where it's verifiable. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Lasers, we already talked about. Straight down, don't cross the streams, you're good. We're going to get lots of pictures through there. So when you're taking pictures, it's literally through the laser, not on the ground. So it's not pointing it down, it's going through it. It's almost like a side shot. Obviously, we want to kind of see where Bianca's EMF is going crazy. With the thermal imaging camera and the temperature team, I'm going to work with you guys first because there's a lot more than what I told you about what goes on with this guy. And I'll show you guys exclusively the video of what I caught last week, or actually a couple weeks ago now. So, as far as spirit box teams, go ahead and start wandering, turn up your spirit boxes, but just loud enough so you can hear them so you're not spooking the horses. But
There are horses in there now?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we don't want to get too crazy with ponies. They'll start kicking. So, just, I want you to stay in the lot. Go anywhere you want to. All right. Same thing with actually the 3 of you. So watch where her EMF's going off, and just start getting your lasers out whenever you know that thing's going a little crazy. Vehicles can be sensitive to lasers, just so you know.
Okay.
I've set off a few car alarms in my day. It's never fun. Told you, I'm not a typical tour guide. All right, so let's do a quick example. Jay, get me a shot of the wall, and tell me what you see as far as temperature and color. Let's get me out of the picture.
Well, where the light's still at, it's kind of red. On the wall, it's purple.
Okay. What's the temperature?
70.5 degrees. Now it's down to 68. The
Okay.
ground
Go ahead and
is...
put your red dot on that wall and tell me what you got. It's getting a little
Shoot your
cold.
red dot.
Which one's the red?
The blue.
Your left.
The blue. So that's why I said go ahead and pocket the yellow one, just because you're not going to use it
Squeeze
as
the
much.
trigger.
64 or 65.4.
Okay, so you guys are off by about 4, maybe 5 degrees?
Correct.
Okay, so in the event you see something where your temperature is going to go below hers, I didn't calibrate these on purpose. So again, this is going to be more accurate anyway, because it's going to go through the air as well. So again, if your temperature drops below what her gun says, we obviously have something going on.
Sure.
I also want you to try to keep a person in view at all times. So obviously you're seeing a bunch of purple and red. Watch what happens when I walk into the picture.
Brightens up.
You're going to see all the different colors now. So that's what I want. I want you guys to see that big array, because if it's
You got
all
the
red and purple,
contrast, yeah.
right. So here's the video I caught a few weeks ago. I got the word store. And it's going to give you. I probably have to turn this guy off real quick, just so it's not overlapping. There it is. So what we're looking at here is the next location we're going to go to, and you're going to see 2 living people go past that orange wall right there. Do you see their heads?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they got a person in view. They followed my direction well. We're going to fast forward, and you're going to see 2 dead people going the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
always a person in view. Do you see how I get that contrast?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for those black spots to move on
Sure,
their own.
right. You want the contrast to show the difference.
Now, on my last
movement.
tour, I literally had a fireman who uses this thing for a living. He got that device.
Yeah.
I showed him that video. He's like, I have no explanation. I use that thing every day. I've never seen anything like that.
Right.
So it was kind of a, okay. You know what I mean? I still
Right.
want to verify what I caught.
Right.
He's like, there's no explanation besides you just had 2 dead people walk across your screen.
Right.
So, and I wasn't looking for it. I went up there because the person using that said, hey, no, actually it was somebody else. They weren't using that device. They said, hey, I think I just saw a shadow. I'm like, all right, let me just go up and try to debunk stuff. So I go up. I'm like, could have been cars passing by and the light
Right.
flashing. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, my guy on that was just holding the film up. Caught those 2
Caught
ghosts
'em.
going by.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, perfect. So that's great stuff. But that's really what you guys are looking for. You have a ton of different types of material in here. You have the metal, just stay away from windows with your laser.
Right.
But you have asphalt, you have brick, wood, foliage, you have all kinds of things.
Right.
Just stay away from cars. That's the only thing I ask.
Okay. And
So-
what do I use this for then?
So when his temperature drops below what your gun says,
Yeah.
that's when you pull out the yellow.
Then you can verify from depth, basically.
We might not even use it. So that's why I said pocket it, because we might not find anything in real time.
Okay.
I'll still, glance through the video in the morning
Sure.
just to see where the hot spots were. But again, if we don't catch something in real time, that's why the yellow one's just there to help verify.
Right, right.
So,
I got a question for you.
what's that? Oh, there's a candy shop right down the next block.
Okay.
So it's like a 2-minute walk from here. So if you want to hand her off the camera so she can keep filming. I'm sure you don't want to take that into the restroom in there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, he very crazy. Right? Hey, do me a favor. Can you put this in my other pocket?
Where's your +1?
Bathroom?
Huh?
Gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh.
How many cars are here? I was asking that, not you.
I know, I'm just wondering. I just wanted to look too, so I know. That's the moon, dude.
Next to me, door. That bright dot is Mars. Burns up.
Man, I totally didn't know that was your sister.
Hmm?
Then, like, if you want to find, like, a certain spot, it's also...
We have like 10 times. You've been a cold shoulder.
Literally, maybe.
that the old jail? Yeah.
And then we did something.
1, 2, 3. Get her.
Yeah, this one on the way here was like, oh, the Ghostbuster stuff. I'm like, honey, you know that's a movie. That's not real. They're not gonna have little thing with the arms that go.
That's the one I wanted to.
And slime all over.
You're not getting a whatever the packs are called.
It would be kind of neat to borrow Nick's FLIR and go to the old house.
I can put the app on my phone. I have the app on there, so. We need to do our house too. Is there stuff in our house too?
Think so?
Yeah, there's definitely stuff in our house too.
Really?
In our house.
That was for you now?
See, you know what? I hear that shit when we're sleeping. Like that.
Really?
I always say to her all the time,
I
like,
used
sounds
to
like a
wear
fucking
ones.
TV's on. And that's the shit I hear.
I hear that static.
Let's go learn some real history now that we all have a good gist of what our devices do, right? Any other questions? Did we hear anything on your spirit box? Nothing yet? All right, so hers was saying something, but she was telling me a story, so we kind of missed a lot of it. I see a lot of EMF going on up there. Just so you guys know, I did ask their family to move out of that corner. Anytime anything has ever attached itself to me that didn't come from one of my guests bringing a spirit along, has come out of that corner. So I did ask them to move out of that area very quickly, just because she felt like she was drawn to it, which is never a good sign. So let's go ahead and cut the spirit box off. We're going to go to our next location and actually learn some history and go into hopefully what comes out of a lot of activity. It's getting a little chilly out here. It's a good thing I'm bouncing around. I'm
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he just vaped something.
Oh, is that what it was? Well, I can still. This vape, I just saw this like. Oh, is it? Well, no, I saw this like little cloud of something.
We're getting everybody out of the drive because this is the only way in and out of here. So we're going to stay back in this area, wait for their family to catch up, and I'll tell you guys what's going on in here. Alright, so, I feel like I'm going to get this. That works. That's perfect. Alright, so, welcome to the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion lot. This is not somewhere where you're going to see on any other ghost tour. If I were to have a grand finale, this would be it, because this is probably my most active location. It is, yes, another beautiful parking lot. So, it will not be parking lots all night long, I promise. So this one is actually very important to the city of Charleston because Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles, and it had also had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses. Count the S's. The son and the nephew, signers of our Constitution. Pretty big deal for Charleston. I don't care about politics, and it's 2020. Let's move on. I hate politics. I really do. But Eliza married Charles at a young age, and I'm giving you guys clues for your spirit boxes. So I'll kind of go over the
She said she heard Eliza
over there.
Yeah. Yeah. She goes, Eliza.
When we were listening to that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I was like, yeah.
Where's our EMF? What's it doing? Bianca?
What's going on?
Yeah. Usually when I bring up Eliza, it usually starts hitting the red, so just let me know. So Eliza got married when she was very young to Charles to stay here in the United States. By the way, this is Baked Beans Breakfast, where I played for you guys. This is where it occurred. It's also where the thermal imaging video that I showed you guys occurred. So that was up in the back.
I was going to say,
I'll show everybody else later. So anyway, Dad was sick over in England. He wanted all his kids home. She didn't want to go. So she got married, stayed here. Dad got better. He started sending her gifts over from England. They obviously made amends. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Now, indigo already had a very deep culture with the Gullah culture here in Charleston, okay, with the slaves that were brought over. So, they actually had slaves that knew how to culture the indigo plant. What is indigo? It makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. We still use it. It's pretty cool stuff, actually. So, it actually started to be profitable right where you guys are standing. The mansion was in the front. Eliza's garden would have been lined up with that first tree over there behind Factor Earth Restaurant all the way across, and we are standing where the slave quarters would have been. So, a couple weird things about Eliza. Well, let's take another step back. So Eliza used her dad's contacts overseas to make it a profitable business. Our rice plantations were going downhill, and we needed another cash crop. It was indigo. She pretty much not only saved Charleston, but she saved the colonies. This is the 1700s, where there's no such thing as a businesswoman. This is a pretty big deal. We talk about Eliza a lot, but we don't talk about where she lived. This is where she lived. This is where we're going to get a lot of data from. So, weird facts about Eliza. She was wife number 2, named Eliza, back to back. She goes by her maiden name, which I think I gave you guys earlier. That was Lucas. I normally don't tell you, but I kind of slipped up and told you guys ahead of time. If you want, try to ask what the first Eliza's maiden name was. She goes by that as well, Eliza Blank Pinckney. So, see if you can get Lucas. That would be fantastic. I've had it come up, and I'm only going to give you guys questions and quiz stuff that I've actually had answered multiple times in the past. You can ask anything you want to about her death. How old she was, what did she die from, where is she buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So, you will get answers to all of those things. Let's see what else. You can ask what happened to the mansion. You can ask anything about her not anything. She had 4 kids. Only one of them was a daughter. Okay? Try to stay to the daughter. Otherwise, if you start poking around with the other kids, the activity stops. We'll just say that. It was not a very happy instance with one of the other children. But try to find out what the daughter's name was. That's an interesting one, too. That's 3 syllables. No, 4 syllables. So, no, wait. English guy can't count syllables. 3 syllables. So, again, try to find out what that particular daughter's name was. Again, I'm not giving you the answers to this, but just stay away from those yes or no questions. Since you guys are going to be kind of pestering Eliza, I'm actually going to keep going with Chuck. He keeps trying to come through. Charles, the husband. The son also comes through, too. Just the other day, October 27th, I got the word treaty come up, and I was like, okay, let me dive into that one because it's obviously a political word. Let me find out what happened. So I just Googled Treaty Pinckney, and what comes up on October 27th, the Pinckney Treaty was signed with somebody from Spain or Mexico or something. I forget what it was. But anyway, it was very relevant because it happened on the exact same day. It's the same date. So, again, a lot has happened in October for the Pinckneys, especially with the Charleses, so I will be poking around with that. So let me know everything you guys hear on your spirit boxes. Nice full sweeps from you guys. Red dots away from cars. Lasers, you know the drill. All lasers, including yours, need to stay within the walls. So we don't want to interrupt businesses and all that and see how far they go and do a laser light show. Obviously, we're going to be watching where Bianca's EMF goes off. Your spirit boxes, I'm going to be doing my own session so you have something extra in your audio, because it's a different type of session. So that way, I want to see where the spirit box teams go. You guys are free to wander wherever you want to. Lots of pictures, no people, no cars. I think I about covered everybody, right?
Do you want us to split off? Like,
Yes.
opposite
Spirit
corners?
boxes should always stay away from each other.
Okay.
So again, I want to see where you guys go because I have my hotspots in this location. So you guys are free to go wherever you want. Try to start. I mean, obviously, you guys want to watch what Bianca is doing with her EMF. It's going to be pretty hot all the time. Bianca, do me a favor. Come up here. I want you to. You're going to be our model for a second. Stop right there. Turn around and face that building. Do you see the light blinking?
Yeah.
Hold your EMF up like you're going to take a selfie, and make sure that light is in view.
Woo.
75% of the time when that light is blinking, because it doesn't always blink, it is within 2 seconds on a video frame in sync with that EMF. Again, that's kind of my barometer of how much activity we're going to have. There's been nights where it's not blinking at all,
Oh, really? I thought I was just about to ask.
and there's no activity. So again, it's my barometer. Right now, it looks pretty decent. It's not the strongest thing I've ever seen, but it looks pretty decent. We should get quite a bit out of here. But it's just something to watch for. What do you got going on? Oh, you're trying to get it on video? I don't know if you're going to get the blinking on there.
No, I just want to see if there's any moving while she's getting readings after it.
Oh yeah, she's got a lot of readings, and there's nothing here. They're not even going to do an archaeological dig here.
Really?
There's no electrical lines underneath here. There's artifacts that we're not going to dig up. We're going to put a freaking hotel here and bury it, which is bullshit. Pisses me off.
Well, I do heavy equipment operation, and I was just talking about it does headstones, coffins.
I keep getting drawn like over this way.
Do you? Well, you got to get in front of me so we get the temperature difference.
I'm at 60.
So am I.
Where you at?
Temperature?
Yeah.
70-ish.
Oh, I was at 58 over here.
We're in the corner.
I'm at 57 now.
61, 62. Thing like the aluminum can and stuff like that, that's all cold.
See anything?
Ground is 60. Plus.
Yeah, see, she's picking up in the corner. Here, go in the corner. Yeah, see?
It's over here.
That's her.
Where's Nick? Bring the laser, Nick.
ship him.
Maybe.
You guys have the EVP?
No, we have the thermal image.
Okay, then
I wonder if she
EVP over there.
attaches to
You guys
people.
have EVP? Come over here. Yeah, it's over here, man.
Eliza, how old were you when you died?
With your infrared dot, you could be helping him because there's a million types of ground here. Like we have mud, we got gravel,
Pop cams,
yeah,
stuff like
all
that.
kinds of
come
shit
up
all over
different.
the place. So you could be helping him like, hey, what's that blue spot on the ground? I mean, obviously it might be some mud underneath the gravel, you know, things like that. Like the dumpster over there, I got an activity from pieces of the wall. Obviously the corner you guys went to directly, you know, just all over.
She said she was drawn to this
To
corner.
this corner, and she's got activity over there, but she keeps pointing at if that's her dad, and I said maybe Eliza's attached herself to her dad.
Why do you think they're all up in that corner? And why were you drawn there?
I don't know, when you were talking, I just was drawn to that corner.
Anything in particular stand out to you?
No,
What's
it was,
that
just
about the story?
it was just to go to that corner, like there was just something in that corner.
Well, the house collapsed by fire. The Great Fire of 1861.
Okay.
It was up on the second floor above that corner where they're all standing. So,
Yeah, I was just, as I was looking around the park, like I was just drawn to that corner. Because that was the first place we went and like go to that corner to see what. And our temperature was like,
60.
yeah. Well, mine
we'll
was like a little off than his. But,
more than the 4 to 5 degrees?
yeah. Mine was at like 58, 60, and his was in the
60,
70s.
60, right. No, when I hit the ground, it was 60, 60. The wall was warmer.
I'll explain all of that as we collect again.
Sure.
See if they get under the spirit boxes. They give everybody the most time with the spirit boxes here because it's so active. I'm not getting much out of mine.
I just keep getting the chills.
It's
Like I know it's chilly, but like I've
Yeah.
got layers on, so I keep on getting like.
what did I say? There's 10 of us? 9 in the group plus me? Can you give us the number of people that are here, including me? Close. Rewind by 5 seconds. I need a number. How many people do you see? Oh, I did hear blue earlier. Relevant to the indigo. Sorry, I get so much stuff here. I gotta remember like.
That deep voice fucks with me.
Why is that?
It just
Just
messes
a guy.
with me. I know, but the deep voice,
I don't get much out of that.
really, it freaking.
Maybe the way you hear it.
You know, thing like I remember when I was a kid at my parents' house. My parents did a huge addition to their house, and where my parents' bedroom was when I was a kid, you'd go up the stairs, you make a right, and that's where their bedroom was. My sister's bedroom, you would make a left, go down a narrow hallway to her bedroom. And I could not sleep in her bedroom. One morning I woke up, I had scratches at my arms, and I would scream until they get me out of there. And then once they built the new roof over the old part and ripped it down and opened up their bedroom,
House again.
the house is fine. The basement still, even in the new part of the house, if I walk down there certain times, I get the immediate, if you get that,
Yeah.
somebody's holding on to you. My farmhouse is that way too. You walk in the basement, sometimes it's like, okay,
I would use an EMF meter down there, like
Yeah.
a legitimate one. Like the
Yeah.
ones up for the phones, they work. They're just not as sensitive.
right.
But at least that way you could probably debunk it. Maybe it's just something that's heavy in the air. That's
Well,
natural.
that house, everybody has told me, people I don't even know, they're like, oh, you live in the haunted blah, 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 blah house. And I'm like, what the hell?
Did she get a discount?
Right. But that house has been added onto and added onto and added onto.
And any kind of construction is still shit up. It
Right.
happens every time.
Yep.
Alright, let me follow up with these other groups
Sure.
and see what they're up to.
big mountain cold.
Yeah.
At 59. What's the difference?
This is where her garden was, where this tree is. So. The wall's 67.
At 63.
The ground. What is it? I'm 61, almost 62 on the ground here.
Yeah, so that's it then. Yeah, I'm at 60. Yeah, I'm at 60. See a shooting star?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
Nice clear night for it too.
yeah, it is.
Where's it? Oh. Is it going off?
That building right there. This one with the high peak. That building and the one next to it that they're working on. I walked down that alley.
Do you see anything over
No, I just had that feeling. He thinks I should use an EMF in the old house. The real one. Thing, I know the old house is
Oh,
on.
yeah, we know that. I think most of the stuff in our house is just attached to me.
Yeah,
Like my grandparents and stuff like that. 'Cause it's nothing like.
bad. Thing, I don't ever get chills in our new house. Old house, yeah. The new house, no. Ask her how she died.
What's up?
Ask how she died.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing?
Nothing. Liza, how did you die?
Oh my god, I just got chills. Did it? Oh my god. She died in the house? Oh, I just got chills.
I told you right there was her bedroom that burned down.
Oh god. He told you that?
Not cool?
Mom, it's not that. It's like right here.
Man, I just record myself before I ask them if it burned down over there. Just before we record.
You did? We'll have to see if they picked it up. They have the sound.
I used to be house burned down.
Did you help?
This is a
But he
bedroom.
said don't ask, yes or no.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you.
Said did she die in the house?
Alright, so let's kind of give you guys the answers and see what we caught. Now, you guys want to tell me,
Sorry.
Oh,
you
sorry.
guys said you didn't hear anything. You guys didn't see anything weird, right? And you guys thought you heard the name Mabel. And what was the other name? Campbell. So I don't have a relation to either one of those names. So maybe they just taught me something where I have to Google it to find the connection. I didn't get much on here besides the word house a few times, which I usually get the word house, and I did get the word blue, which obviously ties to the indigo people. names.
Yeah.
So here's the answers to the questions. It was Eliza Lucas Pinckney, as you guys already know, but the first wife was named Eliza Lamb Pinckney. So Lamb is in the animal, L-A-M-B. The daughter's name was Harriet. Again, 3 syllables. I was thinking in my head Henrietta. And that's where I got the 4 syllables earlier. I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't right. Eliza died at the age of 70 by breast cancer in Philadelphia. That's also where she's buried. So, the president, George Washington, was a pallbearer at her funeral. How cool is that, right? So it just kind of shows you how important she was. Let's see, what else did I tell you? The house burned down, 2nd story in that corner. So all of you that went up to that corner went up there for a reason. So, you guys are drawn to it. EMF was obviously going crazy, showing you guys the fire on the EMF. I seen what was happening, started asking questions, and that's when I got the word house. So again, it's all relative. But again, you'll have to listen to the audio to go through, and I will say what I think I heard and say rewind by 5 seconds. So I heard the word close, I think. Again, trying to make sure I heard everything in the right tour, because I get things in this location every time. Did I ask you guys to ask anything else? Did I cover everything? Death? Harriet, not Henrietta. George Washington. House burned down. I usually get the term October in here because that's when Charles was born, and it's also the month that he died in. So sometimes it comes up twice. He doesn't always give me his name. He's actually done that on laboratory. But he's done that on command one time for me. That was awesome. It's like, hey Charles, why don't you put your name on the screen for me? On the box of music. Charles. Bling. Like, wow, look at that. It's awesome. But we're gonna walk up East Bay Street. It's about 4 blocks to our next location. Lodge Alley. It's clay bricks. So if anybody lags behind, because I do walk pretty quick, so we're not losing time on your tour. We're going to make a right at Magnolia's. So if you see Magnolia's restaurant and you're too far behind, just make a right, you'll find us. Where's my picture taker?
Right here.
So you're going to kind of, when we get there, I'm going to pull you to the front so you can take some pictures of the alley when nobody's in it. No other ghost tour, not a whole lot of ghost tours go down there. It's usually empty when we get there, which is pretty awesome. Your EMF's going to go crazy, Bianca. Pay no mind to it at all. You can ignore it because the parking meters are going to make it go nuts. Okay? Absolutely no lasers on East Bay Street. Please keep filming. Spirit boxes, listen for names along the way. I'll explain when we get there. Because somebody's actually, looks like they're taking a break from the restaurant. We're actually going to go out this way and down around up here so that way we don't disrupt him. So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
There's definitely a mask up area too. Yeah, you can.
Put your mask on. You don't have the camera?
I got it.
The most annoying group.
Where did he say go? Magnolia?
Yeah. You wanna go? I'll go with you. I'll wait for you.
That's okay, go ahead.
I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you.
do like it.
I feel like there's a lot of spots.
I don't think I'd move here, but like I'm thinking like kind of like what you're doing. There, and then we she's up there.
Yes, yes. Don't you mess with me.
Magnolia. Yeah. Play alley right here.
Never seen that. Her name popped up with the correct spelling. So it's an odd spelling. Alright, so did we hear any names along the way? Okay. What was the other spirit box? Nothing? You heard shoes tying? Okay, so stop the tie shoes. Did you guys see anything weird back there? Is that why you guys slowed down? Or
No,
did I
she
just-
was restroom.
Sorry.
Sorry. That's my bad. And that was actually part of the reason why I was late coming to you guys, is because my entire group stopped to use the restroom at the candy store. Okay, we got to speed it along because there's only one restroom in there. Alright, so the reason why I asked for names is because this used to be where people lived. This is one of the oldest streets in Charleston. These two buildings that we're leaning on, they weren't here. There was actual shotgun houses. Shoot a bullet in the front, goes out the back. That's how small they were. I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived there. So I ask for names. The names Benjamin and John are usually ones that pop up for me, especially Benjamin. They both lived here in 1801, and they were 2 out of 4 residents that lived here. So call it irony. I call it paranormal evidence. Happens often. This is also, well, the clay bricks that you guys are walking on are original as well. So they're handmade, hand-laid. None of them are spaced properly. None of them are the same shape or size. Those kind of things. So it gets pretty rough every night walking through these things, as I'm sure you guys can imagine. This is also where the Masons used to meet. So before it was residences, this is where they would come out on a hot sticky night in Charleston and talk business, shoes and suspenders. So just kind of picture that. The residents that lived here, let's go back to them for a second, sorry. If you guys notice, the building's down at the end. The Peninsulas in Charleston were much skinnier back then, 1800s. Those buildings wouldn't have been there. So the stench of one tide would have been coming right through this street. The people that lived here weren't considered high class. They were considered low class, obviously with shotgun houses. But they did do an archaeological dig very carefully between these bricks and found some of their tools and silverware, little pieces of their clothing, just their stuff. And were able to determine that these people were lower class based on other artifacts we have in the town. So really cool stuff comes out of here. I have caught plenty of green orbs that come out of this place. I have video of it moving. I have all kinds of craziness. That's why I asked Amelia to actually, Emily, sorry. I keep calling you Amelia because your name popped up. And my puppy's name is Emily. So I actually have 2 mini dachshunds, everybody.
We have 3.
Byron and Emily. So you guys will see on my website that Byron is actually a character in one of my books. Yes, I put this cute little dapple dachshund into a book about death. And I have Byron and Emily, my poets. So my wife wants to get a 3rd, so we can call him Dante. So I have literally 3 poets. And I'm like, yeah, 2's enough.
We had 4 at one point in time, so they're addicting.
Well, Byron is my ESA. So with my epilepsy, he helps a lot with my medication and such. And then my wife is also disabled, so Emily helps with her comfort when I'm not home. She is a chocolate and tan wire hair, and Byron is a piebald dapple. So he looks like a chocolate chip cookie on top and milk at the bottom. So that's exactly what he looks like, and you guys will see him tomorrow on the website. But anyway, enough about my amazing dogs. And honestly, Byron, unless, this far away, he'd be sitting in a perfect sit, not bothering any of you. One of you steps forward, he's going to bite your leg off. That's just the way he works. But I have him trained pretty well, so when I'm not touring, he's out with me all the time. And he's working, so I have him trained. But anyway, where was I? So this is a weird place. We're going to actually hopefully capture all kinds of things. Hopefully, because the spirit box is still recording, I'll capture some names that way.
So this is where my name came up on, in here?
7:30. I think where was I? 7:30. I would have been at the Pinckney Mansion Center, or we just left.
We were just left.
Just entering it. So it kind of gives you an idea.
That's also my grandmother's dead. And her name is she's dead, so I don't know if she's here.
Came up early. So again, I don't hide any of the tours. So your tour is going to be at the very top because it's the last one I did. 7 o'clock tour will be just below yours. You can by all means go through any of them. You have all of October to go through if you want to because I separated by month. So that page is going to take a few minutes to load because it's the end of October, and as you can imagine, I've been very busy. So just watch the windows on that with the gun. People do, I think they go.
I was just shooting that gutter.
Yeah. Anything weird coming out of it?
It's 10 degrees colder than what I picked up. It's glowing red, actually, or something's glowing red.
Interesting.
And somebody's smoking weed.
And the funny thing is, I just got the word chronic coming up. Alright, security's going to come through and start locking up, guys. We're going to walk through here, keep videotaping. Spirit box is down on the audible level only because we're going to be in residences once we leave here. Emily, if you want to take pictures for us, once we leave, be the last one out. So once we get to the edge,
What's that smell? It's chronic, like came up on a spirit box.
Oh, that's the light that's coming up. Okay, never mind.
if she was still going to be here or not. That's what.
Right. All right. Oh, she's down
No,
there taking
she's down there
pictures.
taking pictures. She's doing selfies now.
Give her a minute. You'd be surprised at some of the pictures I get. The drunken groups.
What's the deal all the time?
Yeah, I need to end it
She's not taking pictures of her feet.
I'm amazed at some of the stuff.
I'm seeing a lot of those on the film.
Alright, you got some good stuff? Yes. Low trigger happy. Alright, let's head over this way.
Brown?
Yeah.
64.
How about the tree?
67.
Yeah, 60.
Even though I don't hear any other tours going through there, I don't like to be interrupted. So it just kind of throws my whole train of thought off. So this place used to be called Dueler's Alley. So take 20 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels. That's where everybody tells the same story, only we have enough tools and gadgets to be able to prove it true or not. So here's the story. Now, keep in mind, they make it a big 15-minute dramatic fiasco. I'm going to give you all the clues you need in about 4 to 5 minutes. So there was a doctor named Joseph Brown Ladd. He moved down here from Rhode Island. Keep those initials in mind, RI, because they show up several times and can show up on all of our spirit boxes. So he was supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling that money said, "You're not getting married. Send the doctor away. I think he's just after your money." He moves to Charleston. The coachman that brings him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. So somebody walking by, Ralph Isaacs, initials RI, sees what's going on and says, "Let me get you a new place. Let me find you a good, safe place to stay." He's from Charleston. He knows the area. Takes him to 59 Church Street, which is about a mile and a half from here in Pittsburgh. So it's a very famous house. I think it's like a Rose something else house because other people live there. So at any rate, the two become friends, and the doctor's practice starts taking off. He's making lots of money. Amanda's moving down soon. All is going well. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. You can Google the Whistling Doctor and get a very long, detailed version of this story if you'd like. So, the doctor's a different part of society. So when him and Ralph go see plays together, they sit in different seats because the doctor has better seats. He makes more money. It's a different part of society. So they talk about these plays on the way home. One night they go see Richard III from Shakespeare. I don't know which theater. They claim it's Dock Street, but there was tons of theaters in town around this time, so I can't really verify. So at any rate, they talk about the play on the way home. The doctor loves the new actress that's in town. Ralph does not. They start arguing. It turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. Obviously, they get very pissed off at each other and they go their separate ways. I told you Ralph was from here, which means he has ties to the newspaper. He calls the paper up and he puts a big ad in there that says, "The doctor's a disgrace to the city of Charleston. He takes all of our money, he's not from here, yada yada yada." The doctor rebuttals with, "Let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this." And normally, us here as 2020 Americans, what do we normally think of as a duel? What's going to happen?
10 paces, turn and shoot.
And what happens after that?
Somebody dies.
Not necessarily. That's what we think happens. Most of the time, it was about courage. Willing to stand up and take a bullet for what you believe in. Most of the time, the bullets were shot into the ground or into the air. So let's talk about the doctor for a minute. They come down, they take them 20 paces, follow all the stupid rules of dueling, and then the doctor points his gun at you and he shoots. An act of courage and bravery, but it was also he was willing to forgive. Ralph takes one shot on the doctor below the knee. Now, when there was a death, there's a doorway in that wall, the far wall. Probably can't see it if you're short. Sorry about that. The loser, the dead guy, would be picked up, taken through that doorway, over the courtyard, over to St. Philip Cemetery. They drop the body in a pre-dug hole, and they go celebrate the win. That's how normally it would go. But obviously the doctor was shot in the knee, so they picked him up and they carried him home. He dies 10 days later. So what's the moral of the story? Don't get engaged to Amanda. You'll die. Really, what they say is as you walk through here, you can hear the whistles of the doctor. Now, we have a lot of hecklers in town. We get a lot of, there's your fake one. I have two that I cannot debunk in the year and a half I've been doing this tour. Only two. So I'm going to stay away from smear boxes as we walk through here so you have a nice clear audio, and you're going to be turning your volume up if you're listening to this in the car, playing wherever, however you're going to get home. So, they also say you can hear the gunshots. I've never caught a gunshot. I've never even had anything remotely close to being a gunshot on the audio when we walk through here. You see how the different tools do different things in all these different locations. So this is one of the most beautiful places in Charleston. I love this alley. I'm also going to point out something of history to you guys. As we walk through, the bricks are going to get older. Okay, when we first get in there, those bricks were refreshed and renewed in the 1990s. Pretty recent, okay, 30 years ago. At the end, those bricks were sun-dried by slave counts. There's fingerprints in those bricks from them turning it. We also have one full handprint. Now, the handprint, I will point out, but it's outside somebody's home, so we have to move kind of quick. If you want pictures, have your cameras ready. But I want you guys to take note that the thumb is over the next brick. So think about this poor slave kid who just put this brick in. It was wet, and he slams his hand into it to make a point, like, screw you, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's a very sad moment, and it's not something we're proud of here. But I like to point it out when we walk through because people walk over it every day and never see it. And they're in 3 different places at Charleston: Tier, Drayton Hall, and I can never remember the third. But if you Google the handprints at Charleston, you can find it. But I will point it out in the finger swipes in the bricks, but the handprints at the very end. So again, we're going to go through here, explore, take as many pictures as you like, as long as it's empty, because it's absolutely gorgeous and stunning. I do get weird things that happen in this alley. So, can't remember how long ago it was, but I was walking through with a very small group. It was supposed to rain, and I smell a weird fruit. It's towards the end. I'm like, all right, that's weird. So I didn't say anything because my sniffer picks up on things. A guest behind me says, wow, I smell passion fruit. I'm like, no, pretty sure that's grapefruit. It smells a little tart, more so. So we argued for a minute. Then the word pie comes up on my spirit box. Didn't make any sense at all. Go home, Google things the next morning. Grapefruit pie is a lost recipe on Southern Living's website that started in Charleston. So, again, stupid things come out of these tours. I never know what I'm going to learn. Grapefruit pie sounds absolutely disgusting, and I wouldn't even think about putting a grapefruit in the oven. I can't imagine what would that make my house smell like. So, I'm going to open up this really creepy door so you have something creepy on your tour. For sure. So, I'm going to be making a left to stay away from the spirit boxes. If we cut through another tour, please turn the spirit boxes off. If you want to see the death gate, go right. If you're going to follow me, make a left. The gate where all the dead people went through that I don't get activity from. Just being honest. That's my gimmick. I'm honest about everything. Great picture spot.
What was here before?
So
Or what was this building?
This building, I want to say it was part of the church, if I'm not mistaken. I thought most of this was part of the church, but this is like all of the actor stuff. We have the Footlight Players Club over here. We have the costume shop is right here. So like this is all actor stuff for all of our different studios. But there's houses down at the very end. So like we may have another tour coming through. Unless they're just passing by. Might be just a couple. This is like one of my favorite places in Charleston. I love it down here. Are you getting a feeling like this was something else?
Yeah, that building, like when we were in the parking lot.
I seen you guys pointing at it and watching on the camera.
That's why I asked what it was or what it is.
I can definitely dive into it. I've never honestly dove into the history of the building that was here.
I'd have to. I don't even know her a lot of life.
Why is my phone like this? Can you take this out and why is it?
So if you stand back here on the steps over here, you have a great picture spot with the plaque and the St. Philip steeple lined perfectly.
Oh.
I'll do touristy stuff. Told you, I'm not your typical tour guy. You guys can hang out and check stuff out.
Alright.
And this wall, if you notice, there's anchors for where there would have been hinges.
Yep, for a gate.
That's how mine is. How do you fix it?
Doesn't matter.
No, our phones. Doing some weird stuff.
Well, weird stuff is what I do. That's why I asked what's going
It's
on.
on the 3 seconds.
It's like keep on doing like a timer, taking pictures on timer. For
And
me.
it just started happening when I got here. I never did that before.
So
Like
you
my
had an
camera.
alteration on the way you take pictures?
Yeah,
Yes.
like in the process, in the middle of taking the picture. But
Yeah, like since I
you
got
just went to,
here,
like,
my
you know, like when
camera
you set like a timer and you want to go sit over there, take a picture. That's what I started
That's
doing.
weird.
Mm-hmm. That never happened to me, yeah, and I can't take it off. I won't let mine come off.
Hmm? Water here?
Yeah.
Doors kind of close. It's cold during the day to take pictures.
Oh yeah. You can see through it.
Yeah, really? That's creepy.
What was it? Really?
Hold on, I took a picture of it, so it's embedded in my phone. Oh, it zooms into it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's perfect.
The other part, you know, your phone.
There's another door.
The camera on that one.
Same as the other door, though. The handprint's right here.
Is that blinded by the light?
The sidewalk's closed, so we're gonna go around.
Okay.
Except for these ghost tour people.
Right.
Down to 15%. Watch yourself on the bicycle.
Make sure.
So, we're going to be talking about this particular building. It goes all the way up to East Bay Street. So this is the Wagner building. The Wagner building, this is our last stop, by the way. I don't know if I told everybody that. We're going to end up on East Bay Street, right across from the Vendu or Pineapple Park, if you guys need a reference. We're about 5 minutes once we end away from where we originated. So if you parked up there, I got to go up that way anyway. So by all means, follow me if you want to be stalkers. So anyway, the Wagner building. The last guy who had it as a cotton warehouse, his name was George Poirier. Now, George inherited the business from his dad. Clueless guy. No clue what he was doing, silver-spirited kid. And he got himself into a bunch of debt very, very quickly, and then he blew through his inheritance very quickly. So, sorry, others were just the size of them blows my mind. I don't know if I told you guys, but I keep my tours at 10. So, I'm not the money-hungry guy that's going to take 20 plus. You guys need a personable tour. So, just hinders me, I guess. But anyway.
Well, thank you.
I'll take it. That's what I want. I just need a thank you. But anyway, so anyway, George, he's up the creek. Like he's got to get out of the business. And then the boll weevil moves into town. It's a bug that he's caught. So now he can't sell his crops to the Americans and get rid of his debt. He needs to sell it off to somebody else. So he sells it to the British. And again, Charleston much skinnier. The Vendu and the Pineapple Park that wasn't there. So he can watch the British ship roll up. They unload by horse and buggy out of these really cool garage doors that you guys see. And he's watching everything from the second story floor of the front of the building that faces East Bay Street. So, once everything is loaded onto the ship, somebody gets too close with a pipe. Want to take a guess what happened? It's cotton. The whole thing goes up in flames. Everybody dies. George watches the whole thing. So he's already depressed because his dad's gone. Now his father's legacy is gone. So what's he do? He piles up all the furniture, captain's chair on top, climbs the mountain of furniture, swings a noose, and he ends up committing suicide by hanging himself. They say you can see the shadow of a swinging corpse from the front of this building. Now, our camera cannot see through glass. That's a problem. Somewhere. You're going to take a nice slow sweep of that second story when we get up there, and we're looking for a blue pane of glass to turn a darker blue. Pretty simple. Reason why is because something could be influencing it from the inside. Obviously our ghosts are cold. I want colder windows. So we're also going to get plenty of pictures of the second story when we get up there. Spirit boxes, we're going to listen along the way. It's going to be very hard to hear with all the traffic on East Bay Street. So you can ask a bunch of questions about George, what was on the ship, ask about the ship, where did it come from, any of those things that you want to. There's another ghost that likes to tag along when I'm going through the Wagner building. Same time period, makes perfect sense. 2 blocks away from where we came out of Philadelphia Alley is a restaurant called Coogan's Porch. Coogan is actually a dog. We're not looking for a dog. We are looking for Zoe. Zoe, that used to be her home. The last name is Saint Amand, which makes her of French descent. Okay, so any of those type of terms can come up. She did die in the house by falling down the stairs. Last night, I got the word porch that came up on my spirit box. We heard the word yellow, and white came up. The house is yellow and white, all while exploring the Wagner. So, she also lived there with her sister, Elizabeth. You should also know that Zoe was a school teacher. So teacher, education, any of those type of words wrapping around those can come up as well. So, now that you know what ghosts like to hang out with me over here, we're going to walk alongside. Of course, I'll lead the way. Your EMF when we get to the front is definitely irrelevant because of the parking meters. A definite no laser zone for you, sir. Where is the... So we're going to do a little test when we get up to the front. It's a little breezy tonight. We're going to see what happens. At the very top of the building is a crest. It comes to a point. It's covered in stone. 5 feet below that stone is the same type of stone inlaid into the brick. Now, facing the water, we should have, on a breezy night, about a 22-degree difference. 18 to 22. 30 to 35, this building is always cold. Always. We're turning it into a wedding reception area in the front, and people live here in the back. These are their garages. They're condos back here. So, there's nothing going on in the front besides that construction over the past 9-10 months. So we can point that laser at the very top and see if we can see the temperature differences. Again, it's pretty breezy. I would expect a 22. On a non-breezy night, it's about a 7 to 12 degree difference. Breezy makes it very difficult to kind of gauge whether something's going on. If I get 30 to 35 degree difference, I will listen to the red spirit box recordable one a little closer in the morning, depending on it. And I did get a 31 degree difference on my last one. Again, very breezy. I'll see what comes up. I'm not here to hide stuff. It's just my barometer. It's kind of like the light at the Pinckney Mansion site. So we're going to test that. So let's get those spirit boxes running and see what we can find.
There's a couple coming.
Okay. Oh, we'll let you guys pass by. Sorry.
Sorry.
Hey, no apologies. Just having a good time.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Cotton already came up. Just saying.
It's a bold move, Cotton. Start hearing Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive. Cool building.
Film from you, that window, and then these two here. Now your online stories will always say second story or third story, but all my data says second. So between your dot, I want your dot at the very top of the crest over here. Where are you at? definite, I'll take those. You guys all love my Ghost Lives Matter patch? Did anybody notice at all? Funny thing is, I know somebody's gonna get offended by that. You know what the funny thing is, like, it's funny because ghosts don't have eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get the recordables off of you guys, and then, just like I told them, this is just so you guys have my contact info and get to the website ahead of time. And then I will text you guys the direct link in the morning.
And I'll forward it to you guys.
And we will take it. Look, it's still recording, awesome. And I only have to splice together one extra video on that end. It's fine, it happens. It's really not that long. I was just wasting my time. Did it really? You should have interrupted. It's okay. I talked too damn much. Said look away.
Yeah.
And then their phones started acting. When did your guys' phones start acting up?
Taking pictures of the tower back there, the church steeple.
This was afterwards. It was right we passed the town steeple and then we went through those doors and I was taking a picture and she said don't look away.
No, it's not
Like it's too late because I took a picture.
Dead people door. That's where.
Yeah.
So I said, I want to go see the door.
The death gate. Awesome. All right.
That steel is almost 40 degrees difference than the rest of the building.
Well, that makes sense because the brick holds on to heat.
Right. The sun bakes into it.
Right.
But even the glass is like 64 degrees.
So when you like are doing your little shift back and forth, they should all go in unison based on the color hues of blue. So that's what I look at. I go straight to the end of this because that's really where I find stuff.
Yeah.
Is within those windows. I'm looking for that window to turn black or a dark blue that I can't explain. It isn't in unison with other ones. And again, I blow it up and watch it on my TV because I put it up on YouTube first, and then I send over the YouTube video to your data page. So that way it's all in one place for you.
This window here, this first one that you said, is a few degrees cooler than the other one. The glass is like 52. And these are bounce up to almost 60 depending on where I'm hitting it.
Wow. That's a good 8-degree difference. I used to get excited about 10 degrees. But again, 8 is still, I'll be able to watch that for sure and see what the heck's going on. A lot of stuff's been here. A lot of stuff's moved out. And again, they're turning this into a wedding reception area, so it'll be considered waterfront because of rooftop.
Wedding.
Well, I was going to say, good luck to those weddings. They're going to be cursed. So I'm actually going to cut off the audio at this point, and I think we got enough footage.
This is about ready to die. So.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I have to usually charge it for the 10 minutes in between tours just to make sure it's going to last.
We're
So,
at 52, 53.
yeah, you guys
This
got a
one's
cool
about the
shower.
same
Phone
now.
back up there again. Come on.
What?
Shine your phone back on there again. Because this window up here, when you did it, it had like a different color in it. It had almost like a green tint in it. Well, no, but it's like almost like a neon green in this corner window. Oh, maybe it's the reflect. Maybe it's the street light reflecting.
Yeah, 'cause that happens all the time.
Yeah, I'll never. Yeah. Well, I just caught it, and it was like.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it's those pictures I sent to my wife on purpose. Like, hey, can you analyze this? I'm like, no, sure.
Okay, so why is it saying like minus 27 degrees?
Where?
Right below that steel. Look.
Probably getting part of the cold air. You're in the air. It doesn't know what to do with it. So open air, it doesn't know where to land. You got to remember, it doesn't see in
that's
3D.
true. Right.
So it just keeps going out into space. So it's like minus 20 degrees in space right now. Let's go with that.
Okay. So what's weird is like the steel is red in the image, but it's actually 20 degrees colder than the red on the building.
Why does it keep on following you no matter where you're at?
That reflection.
Yeah. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That is so. What is that? Almost looks like a fire extinguisher.
So you also have to remember,
Isn't that?
it's set up to white hot. So
Right.
white, yellow, orange, red, blue.
There's nothing. It was following
That's
you.
the spectrum.
Like,
know.
Blue, then dark blue,
But
then
it
black.
looks- it
And
looks like
that's
a
how. That's probably why it's
fluorescent
red, because everything else around it is
I
probably
know.
orange or
But
yellow.
it keeps moving.
So it's going to be the almost opposite of what we would normally think. We would normally think red hot,
Right.
but it's white hot.
White's hot. Yeah.
So the spectrum is a little backwards than our normal.
I know. I thought.